Whoa, guys, they're making a new Avatar game. Not this Avatar. This is the good Avatar. Hang on. Look, they're making an Avatar game. No, I'm not sure if this is it either. It's Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, the game that's been in development since potentially 2017. Because we all know that it's always a good sign when a game takes that long to make, right? There's never like a bad reason that it takes 7 years for a game to come out, right? Nothing went wrong during the development, right? It looks like it came out in 2017 a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, that's enough ad hominem straw man attacks on the game just based on appearances. Let's actually check out the content. Capture on PS5, mix of gameplay, cutscenes, and in-engine footage. Not all images appear in the game. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say. I'm not going to be stopping the video the whole time.
Welcome to Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, a first-person action-adventure game that invites you to explore the engaging world of Avatar in an immersive open-world experience. The story of our game begins when the RDA expands their operations to the western frontier. On your adventure, you'll find your own path as you discover what it means to be Na'vi. You'll explore new regions of Pandora, each with their own unique biomes. The Kingloa Forest is a lush rainforest brimming with life and dense vegetation in the shade of awe-inspiring floating mountains. This is the home of the Aranahe, a clan of peaceful weavers who will guide you on your first hunt and on your first flight. The Aranahe will show you the way to the rookery, where you can bond for life with your very own Ikram. The Ikram is a devoted companion that you can name, feed, and customize. Experiment with acrobatics.
That's cool.
And feel a rush of adrenaline as you dive from the sky and explore the open world of Pandora from the air. If you travel north, you'll get to the upper plains, an expansive grassland filled with contrasts and open views as far as the eye can see. RDA operations are threatening the balance of Pandora. They build facilities of all sizes to exploit resources at any cost, spreading devastating pollution. In the process, animals are hurt and poached. You'll need to stop the RDA from ravaging your home, and when you are ready, you will take the fight to them. As a child of two worlds, you can learn to master multiple combat styles. Your powerful instincts allow you to get an overview of the battlefield, mark your enemies, and identify weak points. Traditional Na'vi weapons are versatile and precise. You can use the longbow to hit long-range targets, or the staff sling to set up traps. For a more explosive approach, you can leverage your human training and go for the blast of an assault rifle, a shotgun, or go bigger with the occasional rocket launcher. On foot, you can also rely on your incredible strength to take down amp units. Above the clouds, your Ikran will help you in aerial combat against the RDA. Destroying RDA facilities will have a tangible impact on your world. With the pollution removed, Pandora heals. You'll be able to harvest the best quality material again and craft better gear and weapons. You will also find ingredients to cook and make meals to get stronger. As you keep discovering what it truly means to become Na'vi, you'll improve your skills by connecting to Awa through the Tarshu plant and learn from the memories of your ancestors. Skill upgrades can improve many aspects of your character, such as your natural agility to move through the world, your stealth approach when hunting or fighting, or the handling of your weapons and mounts. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is a captivating action-adventure game designed to maximize the power of new-gen consoles and PC. You will be able to play the full story campaign in single-player or with a friend online in two-player co-op.
December 7th. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I kind of had every intention of not being into this game. From what I had seen in the regular trailer, I wasn't really impressed, and my first reaction was really that this is just going to be like a reskinned Far Cry game set in the Avatar universe. Just going to be Far Cry with an Avatar skin over it. There are some features, there are some things about it that still do strike me as such. The compounds that you're going to be able to raid, and the hunting, the stealth mechanics, just overall kind of way that the world seems like it's going to operate from a gameplay sense. But then there's a lot of other stuff that I do feel like they really are taking the Avatar license seriously. They're really trying to build something that does really feel like watching the movies. What piques your interest, and where would you want to visit and really experience firsthand. I think that that's really cool for fans of Avatar. Personally, I really enjoyed the first movie. I think Way of the Water was could have been shorter, but I think Avatar overall is really cool. I think that there is a lot of interesting stuff as far as the world building goes, you can play with for a game like this that could be really interesting if it's executed well. It does really give off Far Cry vibes, but there's other things that I feel like are pretty unique. There's some things that strike me about this, which are, like the cutscenes, the cinematics, they look pretty good, but the graphics, I just don't think this looks very good. It almost looks like it could be a Xbox 360 game that came out right before next gen consoles released. It's a little rough around the edges. I kind of get the impression that this game has been in development for a long time. Maybe at the time when development started, this was decently close to standard for the graphics of the time, but now it's, because it might have taken longer to complete, it's looking a little rougher. And this is on the PlayStation, this is on PS5 allegedly, so it should look, on console it should really look more polished. The fact that it doesn't is interesting. That gives me even more concern for the PC port of the game, because if this is how the console version looks, PC might really have some issues with optimization or fidelity and stuff like that. There might be a low ceiling for how good the game could look. I don't know. Maybe they just have a contract and they had to show it off on PS5 even though the game looks better on PC. They just couldn't show that. I don't know. So it does seem like Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft has been working on this game. Yeah, the game was actually announced all the way back in 2017, so I was correct, that it's been in development for a while. And then it got delayed in July 2022, which it was supposed to release that year. It got delayed, and now it's going to come out at the very, very tail end of the year in 2023. In development for a while, it might have had some issues, and I was wrong actually. It's going to be using the Snowdrop engine, which was first used for Tom Clancy's The Division, is also the engine being used to make Star Wars Outlaws, and it's also the engine used for X-Defiant. I think we're really going to see them pushing this Snowdrop engine to its limits. It does look like a game that started development in 2017. It looks just barely up to the standard of this generation stuff. I hope that that's only in the graphic fidelity, only in the aesthetic. They're really going to be pushing the Snowdrop engine to its limits. Massive Entertainment has been given so much responsibility, specifically with both the Avatar and the Star Wars licenses. I'm going to be completely honest. I can't say that I have been wowed by any Massive Entertainment game so far. That's just me. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. I hope that they do well with this one. I hope it goes great. And look, if they can be churning out these licensed titles so well, then that's great. Maybe we'll see some more licensed titles and we'll get to visit more universes that we've always wanted to go to that no one wants to make a fucking video game for. The crafting, the making food and stuff, I'm sure that's going to come through as a lot like it did in Far Cry, where it's just like you're making health items, food, upgrading your skills and stuff like that. She makes it sound more involved and interactive and cinematic than it probably will be in the final game. I'm sure you're just gonna walk up to a table and be like, cook health potion, you know what I mean? And if it's not, if it is more robust than that, if it's even more like a Skyrim apothecary type deal, hey, that would be really cool. Learning recipes where you're going and you're foraging, hunting and gathering. I think there's a lot of potential for how robust this world and experience could be, given the fact that it's set in a universe that is already there's so much material there. It's so beautiful, and there's so much world building that's already been done in 2 feature-length films that are highly cinematic, beautiful, cutting-edge CG. So I think the ceiling is really high as far as what this game could be and just how complex it could be. It's really just a matter of if Ubisoft is truly going to deliver on that, or if this is just them capping a little bit of smoke and mirrors, a little bit of embellishing to make the game feel a lot more awe-inspiring than it might be. I do think that if you're a fan of Avatar in any shape or form, and you were wowed in the theaters at Pandora and some of the things in those movies, that this could be a cool game to even at least just try out, because I think getting to experience some of these things in first person, firsthand, would be really interesting. And honestly, it might, if executed well, capture that wonderment of the first Avatar movie better than like Way of Water did, because Way of Water, it's a sequel, we've already been to Pandora, it's going to be harder to wow the audience and surprise them at that point. With this format, you actually could once again bring back that wonderment, freshness to the world. I think it'll be really cool to tame your own, whatever those are called, and you get to customize it. I like that they have an emphasis on that they understand that that's an important part of the gameplay experience, to have that level of customization. Of course, that's the first thing that you're going to want to do, is to make a pink pterodactyl to ride on or something, especially because there's co-op. That player expression I think is cool, which, by the way, co-op, really cool to see. I think they need to have co-op, but Star Wars Outlaws is not going to have co-op. I think that game should, and so it's good that this game will have it. I think that that's something that should really be standard in these Ubisoft games. If the format in the gameplay loop of a Far Cry-like is going to potentially bore you for the 13th time in a row, one thing that could really spice that up is at least being able to experience it all with a friend. That could really make the experience completely entertaining, as opposed to just another run-of-the-mill Far Cry like. This stuff right here is so Far Cry to me. It's so Far Cry. The sliding, the weapon wheel, the scoping out and tagging the enemies before you go down into the compound and fight. Like, it's clearly modeled off of the Far Cry kind of gameplay loop. I'm a little concerned of how dated it looks. I'm concerned if it's potentially been in development for a really long time, and that could point to potentially it having some problems getting its footing in development. And you ask, why would that be? What would the problem be? All that kind of stuff. This is, once again, just like I said with Star Wars Outlaws, this is a really big license to get for Ubisoft, and it does seem like they're really moving into a territory where they have earned the trust of some of these really, really big franchises, and Ubisoft is able to craft at least consistently decent gameplay experiences for the most part, year over year. When it comes to, you look at Assassin's Creed, and you do look at Far Cry, and you do look at Ghost Recon and stuff, like they might not be groundbreaking every time, but they are at least, there's a certain standard of quality that they do seem to be meeting lately. And I think some of these franchises take note of that, and they're coming to Ubisoft and they're saying, we trust you to make this, the executives, I guess, we trust you to make this game and use this license in a proper way, and make a good experience out of it that does the most with it. I think that's a lot of responsibility for Ubisoft. I think this is this is going to be a really big proving ground for them, and also how this game performs and how this game goes is really going to be indicative of how Star Wars Outlaws is going to turn out, I think, too. These games seem to have been developed alongside each other from massive. I hope that it goes well. I hope that the development hell that this game has potentially been in is not going to affect Star Wars Outlaws, because this game's coming out December 2023, and Star Wars Outlaws is coming out only just next year. So they've definitely the same company's been working on these games side by side at the same time. Is that going to affect the final product of both, that they're splitting their attention? The higher ups are pressuring them to get these games out. Is it going to be rushed? Is it going to be ready? Is it going to be finished? Is it going to be polished when they've had so much on their plate? And this is a developer that does not have an excessively long track record of completing, hyper ambitious project after hyper ambitious project. They're really potentially stretching themselves thin on this one. I really am rooting for them. Like, I have no reason to root against Massive in this case. I honestly have no reason to really root against Ubisoft. I think that they've had their problems in the past that I haven't agreed with. I can't say that I've loved every Ubisoft game that's come out recently, and that I think that they haven't had their fair share of annoying or predatory, microtransactions or lack of polish or smoke and mirror demos. But I hope that they can change their tune, because I would love to go to Pandora, and I would love to go to fucking Star Wars, wherever the fuck. Hey, co-op, that's cool. That's more than Outlaws is going to have. If you want to play with your friends, you might have to go to Pandora. I really hope that we have some character customization in this game, at least. I don't think we're going to have it much in Outlaws, but I really, really hope that we can get good customization in this game, really have some agency over our character. Although it seems like this might be another case where we're forced into a certain protagonist, might be a female, does not seem like you can really customize them that much, which might suck, because you're going to be seeing them in third person a lot. But every shot I see, it's the same character. They look pretty much the same, except the gear that they have on. I think the Na'vi have a lot of room for customization, face paint and colors and in clothing and armor and all that kind of stuff. The markings that they have, the dots and stuff. Like, I think there's a lot of stuff that you can do there. I hope that you're able to do some of that, but I really am not going to hold my breath on it. It does not seem like Massive really cares about customization a whole lot when it comes to their protagonists. I'm getting the sense. Whatever. Really, I would wait for the reviews to come out on this one for sure. I would not buy this day one. This is a dicey release. There's a lot of stuff about this game that could go either way, could go south very easily. I would absolutely wait until some people get their hands on this game, some people review it, that you trust, you listen to what they have to say about it, you watch some gameplay for yourself and decide if this is something you want to spend your money on, because I'm sure it's going to be a $60 game. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry I'm so nasally. I've been sick, and I've been trying to kick the cold so I could record more, and I've been working on other stuff behind the scenes. I really don't like recording when I'm sick. I don't think it's a vibe for anybody involved, but I appreciate the response to the last video about Star Wars Outlaws. Really cool discussions in the comments there. Really liked everything you guys had to say. Glad you enjoyed the video. So let me know what you think about Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Are you still excited for it? Are you even a big enough Avatar fan to warrant taking a risk on a game like this? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. Like the video, share it around, and I'll see you on the next one.